hello to all of you. How is everyone doing today? I always ask that. Thank you for joining me today. This is Gina with Talk with Gina for another fantastic show on wellness. Learn, uplift, and inspire. And every week, I do my best to bring some fantastic guests. And I really appreciate all of the comments. I appreciate the DMs. I appreciate the emails. I just appreciate all of you for the encouragement with me doing the show, asking about the guests that I have, and you know, what can I say? Thank you, and I truly feel blessed. Today is no other. As far as providing like a really great guest, right? Because I try to do that every single week. And today, I have a woman on with an absolutely inspiring story. She is a retired NYPD detective. Excuse me. I get so excited when my guests come on. But she is a retired NYPD detective, as well as a retired 911 responder. And now, she is a director, a producer, a writer, and let me also add award winning, okay, of all of that on featured films and short films. Additionally, she has her own magazine. I'm telling you, she's an inspiration. And I am so happy to have her on. I mean, all of you don't even understand how happy I am to bring her on. And without further ado, here is none other than Annegeannette Pinkston. Where are you, Annegeannette? Beautiful.
Yay!
How are you?
Yeah, ma'am. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. How are you doing?
I am great. I'm awesome. I'm running around like going crazy, but I'm here.
That's what's important, right? God is so good. And
Yes.
you are here in the nick of time. That's the thing with
Yes.
a live show, right? You don't
How's
have
my
much
lighting?
time. Uh-huh. What'd you say, Angeannette?
How's my lighting?
Oh, it's good. It's good. It's fine. I know what we
I just
talked
want to
about.
be seen by you and everyone else. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you. So, as I said, Angeannette is just a woman about town. I mean, she is just really doing it. I am absolutely blessed to have her on and to share her with you. And you'll hear her story momentarily. Angeannette is from New York. I put the flyer up, New York, concrete jungle
New
where
York.
dreams are made of. There's nothing
Yes.
you can't do. And Angeannette is showing all of us that there's nothing that you cannot do.
That's
So,
so true.
Angeannette, I know you're from Harlem, New York,
Yes.
right? And now you live in another borough.
Yes.
Yes. And so, tell us a little bit about your background. So, when you were younger, did you know that you wanted to be a police officer? Was that something in your sights?
Well, like you said, I was born and raised in Harlem, but now I'm in the supposedly unknown borough, Staten Island. Yeah, it's beautiful out here. But when I was younger, I knew I was fascinated with uniforms
Yeah.
because my father was in the military, the Navy, and then my brother went into the police department. And as I was growing up, I said, I want to be part of a uniform family. So I joined the marching band and I wore a uniform. And from there, I went to work for security firms. And then I officially wind up being an NYPD police officer who got
Isn't
promoted
that
to detective
something? Wow. And you were with the NYPD for how long?
for 21 years.
Amazing. And so I know everyone, I mean, unless you're living under a rock and you don't know about 9/11, one of the most catastrophic events
Oh
that
my gosh,
New
yes.
York City has ever experienced. And Angeannette at the time was still with the city, and she
Yes.
was a 911 first responder. And so, Anjanette, I want you to just tell us a little bit about that, that day. And everybody was safe as far as wearing masks. And then they were told by the mayor right? You're told by the mayor that it was safe to not wear a mask.
Yes.
Jeanette, and along with your other coworkers, all of you removed your masks, and it was just all about, hey, you know what? Let's find who we can find. Let's do what we need to do. And what happened to you, Angeannette, because you removed your mask?
Well, um, I became sick when I removed my mask. So let me rewind a little bit back to the day that 9/11 happened. The
Mm-hmm.
planes went into the World Trade Center. I had work that morning. I worked for NYPD. I had to go to court, and I got there a little early. I got there like 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30. So I had to go to the bank. Shh. I had to go to the bank. And when I wound up going to the bank, I had headphones. You remember headphones with the
Mm-hmm.
CD player and all that, so whatever. So I had headphones on. I went into the bank, got money, came back out of the bank, and I kept hearing this loud rumbling sound. And I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
to myself, I know my headphones is up loud. What in this thing that's
Right.
louder than my headphones? So um as I was walking, I looked around to find out where that noise is coming from. Looked up, I swear I saw the building like this, and the plane was like this, going into the World Trade Center, and then it disappeared. And once
Wow.
it disappeared, for like maybe 2 to 3 seconds, there was an explosion, and it was horrible. So I found out that all of this was happening while I was looking at it. I called my boss, explained to them what was going on, and they told me to go back to the building where I was at. I wind up going back to 80 Center Street, awaited a call from my supervisor, and he
Mhm.
said, go check to see what's going on in the streets. I
Right.
went towards the location where the building was collapsing. And I swear, before it collapsed, I saw people, like, I mean, people, human beings, it was frightening, jumping out of the window above the airplane. And
Mm,
they flew out the windows like paper,
mm, mm,
and it
mm.
landed on the ground. And you can only imagine what the sound was. So from there, I explained to my boss what was going on. He told me to catch a cab or the train coming back uptown to work, which I work in Manhattan, North Narcotics, way
Mhm.
at 148th Street.
Okay.
I had to walk 40 blocks
Mm,
to get to a train or a cab, which I finally caught a cab to work. And once I
right.
got to work, that's when my boss said, go back out to your borough, and you're going to turn out for the rest of your tour there, which is at the 120 precinct in Staten Island. So the next day, they assigned me to the World Trade Center. And I swear, when I went there the next day to the World Trade Center, it looked like a scene from the movies. Like, like an explosion happened in the street, like a bomb went off or something. That's what it looked like.
Right.
And
Right.
we had to sift through stuff there and try to get situations together and everything. And then after sifting through there, they told me I had to report to Arthur Kill Road, which is where everything is dumped. They pick up the loads of whatever the building was left, put it in a
Mhm.
dumpster truck, and drove it to Staten Island on Arthur Kill Road.
Mm, mm, mm.
And from there, the next day, my boss said, being that you live in Staten Island, roll out of bed and go straight to Arthur Kill Road. And that's what I did from day 3 to like the end of the day, to the end in May of 2002, 2002. Yeah. And I swear, the first day that I got there, they told us to start sifting through the conveyor belt. Now, a crane picks up everything
Mhm.
within that building that was left at World Trade
Mhm.
Center. They transported everything to Staten Island in a dump truck. Now, when it gets to Staten Island, the back of the truck lets out. It just fall into the conveyor belt. A whole male body was within, intertwined within the metal parts of that building
There was just so much going
on
on.
the conveyor belt. Yes, and
There's
we
so much
found
going on. Yeah. I
it
can't even imagine, what you saw, what the other first responders saw. I can't even imagine. And,
was,
I would think that some of your actions, while it was part of your job, it was also heartfelt,
yes,
in terms of, let me see if I can help. Let me see
Right.
what I can do, and really going above and beyond. And a lot
Correct.
of people actually ended up with long-term health problems, such as
Yes.
yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
after going through all of that, sifting through everything, we found
Mm-hmm.
a man in the body, a face of a woman and a baby.
Right.
We were told by the mayor that the air is good. This is now like day 5. He told us
Mm-hmm.
that the air is good, quality is good, Giuliani at the time. And he said you could remove your masks. Now, thousands of people were out there in Arthur Kill and everywhere else working still at the World Trade Center and everywhere else, going to work and
Right.
so forth. We all removed our masks. And due to us removing our masks, everyone became sick years later.
Yeah.
You understand? And I became sick also. Thank God I didn't
Mm-hmm.
collect, I didn't get cancer.
Everybody wants, look at that. Everybody wants to be on Talk with Gina, even the
I
no.
know.
Isn't that something? Look at
Yes.
that.
Why
Those
you
want to
not?
be on Talk with Gina.
I know. Can you get him?
But yes, I know, as you were saying, because we spoke behind the scenes, like, thank God I don't have cancer, but you did end up with, you have Graves' disease, asthma, and some gastrointestinal issues, and you have to take medicine. And I know it's rough, but and thank you for your service.
Thank
Really
you.
and truly, thank you for all you did, because I too lost an uncle. The debris hit him in his head,
Wow.
and he was lost, and we couldn't find him for about a week. We found
Wow.
him, and he never came out of the hospital. So it was really tough. And so I do thank you, because there were folks who were kind enough to help him out of the building. It's
Wow.
unfortunate what happened, but it happened. And so with everything that you had been through, and you're sick and everything, but you decided to start a magazine, SKii
Yes.
Magazine. So why did you start this magazine?
Well, I started the magazine because while I was sick in the beginning, I was sitting behind the desk. The supervisor put me behind the desk because that's what happens when people become sick. They get to do desk duties or whatever within the station house.
Right.
So I'm like doing my job and also seeing different magazines. And while flipping through the magazines, I noticed that there weren't any like aspiring entrepreneurs on the cover of the magazines or within the magazine. And I thought to myself, maybe I should start a magazine with aspiring entrepreneurs or, famous people or whatever. So I started producing SKii Magazine. There's no limits to reaching the top, which there is no limits to reaching the top. And the
Wow.
magazine was about celebrities who are famous and aspiring entrepreneurs. They want to find out, how did these famous people become famous? What
Right.
roads do I have to take? And they
Right.
were given roads to their success.
I love it. I love it. There's nothing like when someone has an idea and they say, you know what, I'm going to put my idea into motion and make it happen, as
Yes.
opposed to saying, I should, maybe. You actually did that. And
Yes.
so from you creating your own magazine, you decided to do some background work in some film and in some television shows. So tell us how you went into that, going from the magazine and kind of like transitioning, so to speak, because you still have the magazine.
Okay, great. So, and while working for NYPD, they look down on you for
Uh-huh.
like doing other jobs other than NYPD. You have to work for
Hmm.
them and only them, and you can't really do other stuff. If you do decide, it's a lot of red tape. So
Okay.
after retiring, that's when I got into acting because that's always been a part of me. I always wanted to act since young. Always want to be
Uh-huh.
a part of anything that's like fascinating. So I
Hmm.
got into acting and I've been on like shows like Jessica Jones, Marvels. I've been on Power, The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt's, Law and Order, you name it. I was on television with these different shows. And looking at these people, like the producer, the director, the one who wrote the thing, and the one that helped people with their police, jargon on the shows.
Right.
I thought, they yelled, screamed, and don't do that, move over here, things like that, and so forth. So I got annoyed with that. And I said, if I ever decide to write anything or be a producer, a director, a writer, or a movie creator, I will not scream at my actors or anybody else that works for me in that way, in any capacity. And that's what I did. That's what inspired me to write my first movie called Keys.
Wow. I think I saw Keys because you did a premiere. Was that the one you did the premiere in Harlem? The
Yes,
small
yes,
theater in
yes,
Harlem.
yes,
Oh yes,
yes.
I stepped up in there like, I was part of the cast. This is
You
exciting.
were.
I didn't know you, but I thought it was like the coolest thing. It was this intimate theater. And every time I pass it, when I'm on Malcolm X Boulevard, otherwise known as Lenox, but when I'm on Lenox and I pass, I'm like, hey, I was in there. I saw that movie. It was just so cool. It was packed. And it
Yes,
was really it was a good movie. Kudos to you.
thank you.
Wow. Yeah, really and truly. Look at that. So here it is. From NYPD and first responder to starting your own magazine while having your health issues, because I'm sure you have good days and have bad days,
Yes, yes.
but you kept pushing and nobody looking at you would even think. You always have a smile. I have never seen you with a scowl on your face. Never. You're always smiling. You're always so gracious to people. And then now you start your own film company, which is SKii Productions.
Yes.
Right. So now if anybody wanted to be a part of your movie, well, first of all, before we even get into that, what does it take? Share with us what it actually takes to be in a movie. What
Okay.
kind of prepping would you have to do?
Well, first of all, you have to write what you want as far as the storyline. You have to be a creative for that, a storyline, which is a writer, which I've been. And you have to know exactly what you want to write about. And the story got to make sense. If you're talking about one person, the sergeant said, go into this office, and then you write down an action. Then Mary decided to walk into the office with the sergeant. And then you write down what she wanted to say. This is what you have to do. You have to make sure your storyline makes sense. Like, you're talking to me and I'm talking to you, and we're sitting both in front of this thing. That's the first thing. The second thing you have to do is go over it again and again to make sure the words are spelled correctly and to make sure it all makes sense. Because once you put it into a storyline, now you got to send it out to the people that you want to act in your movie.
Okay.
So after you do that, then everything starts forming in place. Now you got to look for your camera person, the DP, the one that would actually make the movie really good when they filming it. Then you got to look for a sound person. Then you got to look for a person that's going to read your script. If someone like your main stars get mixed up with the words, that storyline creator has to go and look at the script and tell them what their next line is. So you got to have that person on set with you. Then you got to have a camera guy. Camera guy takes still photos of the actions of every person that is reading from the script. Right. And then, once all of that is said and done, then the DP starts filming and you hire actors and lighting guy and so forth. Then the editing starts. You have to hire an editor to go through your movie, and then he's got to put it in sense. Follow the script. Everything will make sense. Wow. And he knows how to put it in order. After that's said and done, it's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot. So after that's said and done, the editing, then you got to find music for your movie. So there's a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs out there who wants to put their music in your movies. Now you got to look for these people who wants to put their music into your movie. Then you got to put it in there. Then you got to fix the movie as far as the lighting, the make sure the coloring is correct on there. It's a lot that you got to go through. And then, I'm backing up a little bit, because once you hire all these people, you got to pay them out, though. You got to pay people to do your project, and it costs a penny to do your project. So you have to make sure all your money is saved up to pay out the camera guy, the sound guy, the editing guy, and so forth. I mean, you got to make sure and sometimes you pay people who wants to be the main characters, or you hire them to be the main characters. You got to pay them too. You got to pay for their flights and all this stuff, whatever. Make sure they're accommodated in the hotel,
Right.
and so forth. And you have them sign an NDA, because
Right.
an NDA is non-disclosure form,
Agreement.
right? Agreement. And you got to make sure they sign it, because you're using their likeness into your movie, and you're using it the way the movie is going to be set. Like Keys, there's no like Keys is about crooked cops, honest cops, and then there were others. A lot of people signed the NDA. You want to make sure they signed it, because you don't want any lawsuits later.
That's right. I would think so, right? You have to dot your I's and cross your T's. So when you were doing background, you were also taking in everything that was going on around you.
Correct.
So did you have an actual mentor, or you just would ask questions here and there as you were on set and just really paid attention to how everything was going?
As a writer, producer, and director, you're the one that's in control of your movie. But I'm willing to take advice from other people. If what I'm doing doesn't look right or seem right, and someone else who's part of who's part of my film, actor, whatever, they say, look, I think you should do it this way. I'm willing to take advice. I'm not selfish. If it's to make my movie look better, then I would take the advice.
Wow.
So I never looked like to a mentor, show me what to do, but I would take advice on people, because I've watched people on set. I watched the producer and directors and know how they wanted things done, how they would say it, but I would never be that mean to people either.
Right. I understand. I understand. It's a way that you speak to people. So you brought up about funding and having to have your monies together. So what were the steps that you took in order to put your budget together? And let's just go with Keys, because Keys was your first. That was your featured film. That was your first featured film. So what did you do?
Keys, I saved my money for it. I used my own money. And with every film, I used my own money practically. But Keys, I used my own money, and the budget was kind of high up there, because, like I said, even though I watched people do things, but I didn't know how much they spent to do these things. And let me tell you, every day money was flowing out of my pocket like crazy. My account wasn't depleted, because I wasn't that crazy, but I used a lot of money to pay for these things. So it was my own money.
Wow.
My own money.
Would you recommend that? Or what would you recommend for someone who's watching you right now, would like to put together something? What would you recommend?
I recommend people go out there and try to find a distributor that will help you with your movie. You understand? Someone that's looking for a storyline, or a person that's going to write a story, and they want to pay towards your film and your budget. I would recommend they do that, and get help, with it. That's what I would recommend. Yeah, but with Keys, I did it on my own.
Wow. Wow. Sometimes with investments, I've heard all the time, and I know it to be true, that you don't use your own money. But sometimes it works out. Sometimes it works out. We have folks that are putting some comments in and just saying hello to you. Even my daughter's saying hello. Hi, Annegeannette. We have Diana. Hi. Everyone is saying hello.
Hi,
we have
guys.
Anthony. I'll put his comment, if I could put his comment up. He's asking, did you take classes to learn film?
I did. You have to go to classes to learn what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. And I went to like maybe 4 classes, different people, to see what their insight was and to learn their technique and come out there with a certificate, because that's what I had to do. I had to take classes to learn, to see what I had to do and how to do it. And from the experts, they know, they've been there.
Right. And I know that I asked you before, because I see this when I look at it's a publication called Backstage. I know you're very familiar with it. And Backstage lists all the commercials, all the movies, everything that's pretty much going on. And if you want to be a part of it, if you want to be an extra, they'll list all of the details right there. It's really a great publication. It's been around for years. And
Yeah.
a lot of the posts you'll see it'll say SAG, which is Screen Actors Guild. And I know that's a coveted, isn't that a coveted, what we say, organization to be a part of? And so one of the things I asked Annegeannette, if you had the opportunity to partake in one of her films, would that count towards you being able to obtain a SAG card?
Yes, SAG is what it is, Screen Actors Guild. It's basically a platform where after you act in someone's film, as long as you're basically saying lines, I mean, you're really saying lines, and you put in with your movie, you put in for SAG because you think that film is going to be a SAG project, so you put in for SAG, and if the person it doesn't matter, here's your coffee, sir. You said a line in that SAG movie, so you're eligible to become SAG. Yes, yes. So you are, and there's two parts to SAG because it's SAG is it's very expensive to pay into, and on its own because they ask for a lot of money and they only allow you to work the projects that they send you to. There's another project though called Encore, and Encore. It's when you actually get to work for SAG and you also work as an independent artist, an independent actor. And you get to get some jobs from SAG, if it's SAG eligible, whatever it is. But you get to pick and choose other movies that you want to do without SAG being notified because they don't have to be notified about nothing.
I like that.
So yeah, and if you pick those independent films, and they're paying you. Right. And your dues don't have to go to SAG. You understand? Right. That's why Encore would be the best thing I suggest for everyone. Even though I'm SAG eligible, and I've been SAG eligible since 2014, I just haven't put my foot in that door yet to become an Encore. And I just found out about Encore like back in 2020 from someone that acted in my film because she is. The status that she is. She's an Encore.
Isn't that something? So you gave us some insight on what it takes for one to have to actually create their own film.
Right.
But what does it take, or what is it that you look for? What is it the directors look for in a person to be part of their film?
Okay, what I look for is someone that it's been in the film industry for a little while and so forth, and they got the skills that I need for that particular character in my movie. Now, if you're just coming off the streets and you're acting, but you're not really in the acting business, but you want to act in my films, I will put you in there just to get you started because, I look for aspiring entrepreneurs. That's what I said. I do. And I want to help every person out there to get their foot in the door, just to get it wet. So if they decide to go somewhere else, and the only thing you have to do if you want to be part of it, DM me. I'm open to anyone who wants to act and basically want to act in the film. Like I said, I could give you a line in the movie called, basically saying, do you want your coffee, sir? Or how hot do you want your coffee? Or whatever. Look, the sky is green.
Whatever it may be.
Yes, they have that line, and that's to get their footwork wet. And they can say that, I worked in this film. Here's my line. Can I get a reel to your movie? Showing that I acted in this film and I had lines, and I was in the reel.
Wow. So a typical day when you're filming, what is a typical day in terms of hours? What is it about the hours in a typical day when you're filming? Is it 8 hours? Is it 10 hours?
You never, ever give anybody a specific time that they're going to end. You give them the time that they're going to start, but you never know what time it's going to end. That's why you tell them it's going to be like 8 hours, maybe the full day, whatever it may be, because you don't know when their line is coming up. And first of all, if someone is acting out part of your movie, you get all those actors who is working on that set of that movie, that part for that day. You don't mix it up and so forth and so forth, because
Makes
same,
sense.
right,
Mm-hmm.
because you're wasting other people's time when they could be doing other things. So a typical hour for the movie for a day would be anywhere from 8 hours to midnight, depending on how many takes you do on a
Right.
movie, and depending on how long you gotta like keep feeding someone the lines. And even if
Mm-hmm.
you have a deadline or the time, it'll go under and you get paid overtime.
Wow. I have another question that came in, Angeannette. So, Angeannette, who are the major film distributors out there today?
Okay, I could tell you for a fact that Tubi is one of the, even though they said Tubi is like, oh, Tubi, don't go to Tubi right now. Tubi is a good distributor to get into, because Tubi, if you put a film, which I have a film up there already called Keys on Tubi, Tubi pays 75% to you and they only get 25%. When a
Mm,
place like Amazon will only give you like pennies off a dollar. They'll give you like 35, 40%. When Netflix will pay you according to, which is a great, 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 great place to be in, Netflix,
mhm,
because I want to go on there too. And I'm trying hard to get on there. And it doesn't matter what they pay me as long as Netflix is my
mhm,
distributor. But Netflix is a really good one, but it's so hard to get into. You have to know someone to really get your foot in the door. Netflix is good. Tubi is good. Amazon Prime is another one. But that
mhm,
one doesn't, it pays like maybe 60 to their 40. They get 40%, you get 60%. Um, Gosh, there's quite a few. HBO Max,
mhm.
that's pretty good too. As far as names, I'll go out there. But I'm telling you, Tubi is like, people talk, oh, I want my stuff on Tubi. Get your stuff on Tubi so it will be seen and get paid from it,
That's
because
right.
you
I
get
mean,
75%.
75%.
Yes,
That's a big percentage,
yes, yes.
Wow.
Because
We even have Kim. I'm sorry, I just wanted to say we have Kim from Florida saying she loves Tubi. Tubi has some great movies.
yes, they do. They Hi Kim.
Diana's on. Now there's on from Houston. People all over. We have Miss Ann's in Jersey.
Let me tell you.
Michael in the Bronx. I mean, folks are just they're just
Hello,
here.
guys. I'm so happy you guys are there. So yeah,
Wow.
those are great platforms to see movies.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, it's a lot of people trying to get their movies on Tubi, which they have a lot of good movies. Even the
Mm-hmm.
famous people put their movies on Tubi because
Tubi.
they know it's going to be watched,
Mm-hmm.
and if your movie gets watched by the commercial and gets paid by the commercials. So
Right.
Tubi has a lot of commercials. When your movie is played, they go through a lot of commercials and you get paid per commercial. Every movie that somebody clicks to, they click to your movie 10 times. About 15 commercials, 10 to 15 commercials are being played throughout the movie every
I
time.
didn't know that because I
Yeah.
did watch a movie one time on Tubi and I said, if this commercial comes back up again, but see, it wasn't my movie. You see somebody else's
Okay.
movie where they're like, yay, another commercial. Yeah, another
Yes.
commercial, right?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
something when you don't know. They say ignorance is bliss, right?
Yes.
I didn't know, but look at that. Now I know.
So now you guys
Wow.
know Tubi is the best thing out there right now, besides Netflix, HBO Max, and those big platforms. I want to get on Lionsgate too. I want to get on a lot of the big platforms, which I'm working towards. But yeah, but Tubi right now is the best
Mhm.
one besides Amazon and Amazon Prime. Even though Amazon Prime is good, but Tubi is the best payment of all, and they have great movies.
Isn't that something? Well, I'm telling you, Angeannette, if you want to be in her movies, it is not a guarantee. Let me please say that again. It is not a guarantee. You have to be selected. But guess what, though? Sometimes, you're like, how do I get on the movie? How do I get in the movie? What do I do? DM you.
Yes,
Really, as far as Angeannette is concerned, you need to be on Instagram.
yes,
Okay.
because let me tell you, I did Keys about crooked cops, honest cops, and then there were others. I did another movie about COVID, the
Mm-hmm.
Behind the Mask. I did another movie about the vagrant. I mean, I did like many movies with other people too. But
Right.
as you read earlier, I'm an awards winner, director, producer, and writer. It's true. And I'm telling you guys, if you want to get onto this, like Gina said, get on, DM me on Instagram. I mean, I don't mind talking to you guys and getting to know you better. And if I'm working on a project, which I'm working on 3 right now, and we need extra people, something, whatever, with other people, because I'm a director for one of the movies. I mean, I don't mind working with you, especially if you're new and you want to, you got to come to New York though.
Well, I'm in New York. I'm just saying. I'm already in New York. Okay. I'm DMing Annegeannette because I'm going to be on. Would you like some coffee? Oh, how about some tea?
Yes.
You know, I will be DMing Annegeannette. You know, get into the movies, get my feet wet, so to speak. You know.
Yes.
Wow. And so, outside of DMing you, when you do advertise for an upcoming movie, or I should say casting call, better way to say it, you deal with castingnetwork.com. Did you deal with
Correct. Yes, I deal with casting networks because it's the cheapest thing to get into right now. And it's really good network because they make sure they put everything up there according to what you want. You know, you're looking for 10 black males, you know, age range between whatever, you know, and you want them to act like, you know, thugs or something like that, whatever. This is the role that you're applying for. Acting networks put everything up there according to what you want, and they will send it out there. Because I used this numerous times. I have a another program called Celebrity Lockdown. Now, Celebrity Lockdown is like different. It's like a series type of show, a dating show. And I always use that too to post people. I need 20 people for this day, and they will send the 20 people to that casting network for me, and you get to pick and choose which ones you need for that day. You know, you need 20, but when you do that, hundreds of people apply for it. You can't choose everyone. So
right.
Yeah.
That's why I said to be considered. Okay.
Yes.
And sometimes, you know, if you're not chosen, it just wasn't for you. It's how you have to look at it, because there's so many other roles that one can apply for or be considered for. So it's really not to take it to heart that you weren't chosen.
Yes,
you know, because you never know. Annegeannette, wow. I really appreciate you being on. And you know, you're really an inspiration. As I said, the smile has not waned since we've been on the program. I mean, you're still pushing forward. I know that there's some folks that may, oh, I have a little ache here and I have a little ache there, but they can still move, but they choose not to. And then we have some that are incapacitated. You know, they just can't. You know, I have a friend of mine who just really good days, but she has a lot of bad days. And I said to her, you know what? Start writing, start journaling.
There you go.
Start journaling. And she journals every morning now, and she's so inspired. And I said, you know, you could take that journal and turn it into something and help others.
Yes.
You know, and she's just so excited. And that's all we have to do. What is it that we need to do for ourselves that's going to give us inspiration?
Well, if you're,
that's like a rhetorical question. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we have to look to ourselves. Like for you, you know, you were on desk duty and flipping through the magazine. You're like, listen, this is not, I want something more. I want it from my eyes.
And that's exactly what you got to do. If you want more and you're determined, you're going to get it. I'm telling you. And I pray to God and Jesus every day. And when I post stuff on Instagram or Facebook, I always thank them, because without them, they wouldn't have put that thought in my mind about starting that magazine or writing that movie or being part of that movie or starting a Celebrity Lockdown type of show or anything like that. That would have never been part of my mind, because like I said, I pray to them, I write to them, and they inspired me. That's what you guys got to do too. You got to believe in God and Jesus. Put some type of inspiration into yourself, like believing in them, and pray to them. Because let me tell you, the prayers will go up to them, but it might not happen right then and there. But believe me, they're always on time, because when that part is for you, that part is for you.
For you. That's
and
right.
Only you. And only you will be out there doing the things that you want to do. I'm telling you guys, this is what you got to do. And It's not thought by you. These things that happen to you, like Gina on the radio station, God put that thought into her mind years ago. And he started you on your way, right?
Yeah.
And look at you now.
Yeah. It's so true. It's so true. You know, from the show that I used to do, I had a #1 show in New York City. A lot of people don't know that about me. You know, in excess of 13 million listeners. So it was amazing. And so here I am now doing my own thing, and you know, we'll see what happens. But I have belief in myself, and that's exactly what you're speaking to, the belief in yourself and actually doing it.
Yes.
You know, you couldn't ask for anything more. Mm-hmm.
Correct. And it's time. You know, like I said, it's not on man or a woman's time, it's God's time. Because when they feel that it's your time to do this now, it's your time. So, world, if you're listening to me, believe me, pray to God in Jesus, and these things will come true for you. They will.
That's right.
And I'm telling you, your eyes will open. You'll be like, oh my God. I remember hearing that from Annegeannette Pinkston.
It's true. Once you speak it into the universe and you believe it, you have to believe and you speak into it. You know, there's a place that I pass by pretty much every day, and I speak into existence what I want every single time that I pass it. And I feel in my heart and in my soul that it's going to happen, you know, but we have to manifest it for ourselves, because it does start with believing in yourself and then speaking it into the universe, and not even being afraid to shout it out.
Yes.
Don't say it internally. You have to speak it. You have to speak it. And I truly agree with that. Angeannette, you are a dear. You are a dear. You are a dear. You know, we follow one another on Instagram, and I love what you're doing. And I'm telling you, I'm telling you, Angeannette, I'm going to DM you. I would say, hey, what do I need to do? Do I need to send in a headshot? What do I need to do?
That's it. And a little bio about yourself.
You see that? Oh, wow. You'll see me maybe in a feature film by Angeannette Pinkston. You are a sweetheart. I thank you so much. You know, my theme song is Mad Love, because, you know, like I said, you know, the show is all about wellness, learn, uplift, and inspire, right? But we're also sharing that mad love. I'm sharing it by having folks on such as yourself that are so inspirational. And you share it back by sharing your story, and the audience by them sharing it with other people and taking in the information. So it's just mad love all around. So, you know, we're going to go out before I hang up. Is there anything else you want to share with us?
Yes, just know that my Instagram page is called SKii Magazine, but you will see my name there, Angeannette Pinkston. And on Facebook, my page is Angeannette Pinkston. That's what it is, exactly as it is, Angeannette Pinkston.
So one more time on Instagram is SKii _
Magazine,
right? Magazine. Yeah. So SKii _ magazine. That's her IG. And then on Facebook, it's
Angeannette Pinkston.
Angeannette Pinkston. Look at that. Yeah. You have the opportunity to possibly, be considered to be in a film.
Yes.
We have one more. Let me see this last comment before I let you go. Okay. Folks are just saying, wow, thank you so much for the information, Angeannette. We have Wade is saying AI will be used on future films. And someone concurring that in fact is the future, you know, but for right now.
But like you said, for right now, this is what it is right now. AI is coming out. Yes, they are. And I hear a lot of different things about it, but they haven't taken over the world yet.
Not yet.
So now is the time for you to do the things you have to do, and you will see your stuff up on television.
Let them know that. That's right. SKii _
Yes.
Magazine. Check her out. Send that DM. You never know. This could be your chance.
Yes.
Angeannette, thank you so very much. We're going to go out with a little mad love.
Yes.
Show love. It's no love when you don't show love. Then you get
my hair out.
show love. 'Cause I get mad love.
Oh my God, I love this.
Mad love.
I love it.
Mad love.
Thank
You
you
are
for
a
that. I
sweetheart.
love it.
Angeannette said, let me take my hair out.
Yes.
You are so beautiful. Oh
Thank
my
you so much.
goodness. A family woman as well. You know, a beautiful daughter, grandkids. I mean,
Yes.
all, the whole shebang. You know, the world is your oyster and you are living it and you are truly an inspiration. And once again, I thank you so much for being on Talk with Gina.
And thank you. And thank you, world. Thank you, guys.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome. You continue to take care of yourself and you and I will be in touch for sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you all for joining me again for another great episode. I appreciate all of you. Next week, it's already lined up. Another guest. Come on in, join me, share. I'm having a great time. Are all of you having a great time? I hope you are. Well, you know, I can't go out without thanking my sponsor, PPI Security, who specializes in city, state, and government contracts. Oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes. Well, everybody, until next time, I'll see you next week, and let's go out feeling good. Nice jig to the mad love. Isn't that right? Let's do it.
Yep. No.